core app, a recipes app, and you have a static folder, templates, and a media folder. So the first thing I'll cover is the template, global template base.html. This contains the footer, header, and the sideline navbar, the sidebar, sorry. As you can see here, a simple header using a header tag and using columns. I just have a navbar brand, it's a logo and an icon to collapse and reveal the sidebar to make it look neater and not take up any room. Then you have on the side here, with again columns containing the general navigation links in the sidebar. You have two buttons that don't link to anything, they just generally show the structure. Some navigation elements. Then you have where the main content will be. The footer, again using columns, some navigation links, the logo, and yeah, that's it. And then it links to JavaScript at the bottom. I'll show the JavaScript. It's a simple if loop, it just gets a constant for the ID, and then it just displays none or displays block. Show the CSS for this. You have the three fonts that I use at the top, the title, content, and links. This is the animation for the sidebar. I could only get it to animate when you reveal it. I couldn't figure out how to do it when you close it. You have the default styling for the body, preventing any overflow, headings, text, fonts. As you can see, the fonts have the font that I've chosen, and then a backup font. Just some general CSS rules to make things a bit easy for me. Changing the color, setting the position fixed. Here's the header. Because the header is displayed fixed, and so is the sidebar, it uses the z-index. It sets the width, color, display none by default. The animation. This here is a media query to ensure that when it's on a mobile device or a smaller screen, instead of being a tiny sliver or taking up a massive chunk of the screen, instead it just fills it, which was easier. Then you have the classes for the list and stuff, the sidebar. And then lastly the footer. All of them have some control padding and some margin to ensure there's sufficient white space between them. This is the core app. So the first static content in it is the home.html, the home.html page. It just contains a general introduction that kind of fills up the width of the screen. Then it contains a sort of list of tiles. It does 4x4, but in mobile it will also list vertically. You have a general summary of the About Us section and a link to the About Us page. Some more content to show the general structure. A lot of it is just a placeholder just to show the general structure. And again, it extends the base.html to prevent reusing code. The About Us page here. This one is a little bit more dynamic than the other ones. So you have the About Us section, but this time you use a for loop and it loops through a model in Django of any of the staff members. So it loads an image, the header, or it's a sort of description and the role. Show the CSS for this. And you see, similar thing, some media queries to adjust padding, some title text, some as margins, font sizing. Same here, more margin to control white space to make it readable. This is the model for the staff. It's pretty simple. You just have a choice of roles, forename, surname, a role, image, and a description, and just some ordering. Here's the views. Again, the admin is quite simple for this one. And ours is the same. Now this is the recipe app. It's a little bit more dynamic than that one. The models are a bit more in depth. So this one, it provides a list of all the recipes entered in the recipe model, which I'll show soon. So it uses a for loop again. Recipe.image URL, recipe name, description. And it does it in a box to sort of help, not a box, a card, sorry, sort of help separate each item to give white space and a very clear indicator of content. Recipe list. This is obviously, recipe detail of an individual recipe. Each recipe in recipe list links to an individual recipe, the slug here. Some again recipe information. It kind of uses a similar structure to YouTube, where kind of the media on the left, a bit of side content on the right, and then the content on the bottom. In YouTube it'd be like the comments. Obviously here it's the instructions and the ingredients. Obviously it's 3/4 on desktop and it's full on touch, because obviously on touch you don't want to be splitting the content having a video that's half the size of the screen because it'd be unreadable. Again, using columns, listing all ingredients, listing all the instructions, and using this to just generally break up the steps. Obviously, this is the model. This is a bit more in depth than the previous one. You have a collection of units, the name of the ingredient, then you have a recipe, which connects all of them. I'll come back to that. Step, order, instruction, and recipe. Obviously, because you want specific steps with specific recipes. And again, it makes sure each order is unique. You can't have recipe step 2 twice on one recipe. And recipe ingredient, which helps link the recipe and the ingredients. What are we on here? The recipe and ingredients class. So that way you can just pick a unit and then enter the amount here, rather than having to pick a unit and then enter an amount, and then you have to add another ingredient, which could be, again, the same ingredient, but a different amount. Instead, you can just, so it makes it a bit easier, prevents the code from having to be repeatedly typed out again and again. And this is the recipe: name, image, description, category, cook time, servings, created at, and the slug. It takes the integer for the time and turns it into hours and minutes. Recipes.views, again, pretty simple. The admin and the URLs. So I'll demonstrate the recipe now. So this is the home page. I've got Firefox, Edge, and Chrome to sort of show it. As you can see, if I show the images, come on. You can see the images are loaded correctly. If I go back and show you in Django, the default image would be the media. It will be default to or default.jpg. So /media, it's obviously static images, sorry, e.g. image. Again, so that's if I control the screen width, you can see how it positions itself and adjusts. You can see how the content here sort of leaks and takes up the full width. Show that happening. Box columns is 1/4, is 1/3 tablet. And obviously on mobile, it will just automatically list them in full. Again, the generic links here. I got to the About Us page. You could also click the link. Do that here. Again, it lists staff. I'll show the staff in the admin. You can see Kristen Holden, Laura Mipsum, again. Go back to the page, recipe creator, head of communications, and me, Kristen Holden. Again, if I show the image, you can see, again, it's loaded correctly. It's not using default. Sidebar still works on this page, goes full screen. There. I go look at recipes now. Again, there's 3 recipes here. If I look at admin, recipes, Laura Mipsum, quick cheese tomato pasta, eggs Benedict. If I look here, yep, 3 of them. You can see image again, loaded again. If I click on any of these, it will link to the recipe. If I shrink the screen down, it stacks vertically. Again, Bulma does that by default. Here we are, the actual recipe themselves. Here are the steps, the ingredients, the cooked image. If I scale up, you can see the media query. Again, if it's below 1023 px, it will fill up the screen. Otherwise, it will go back to its what I specified for Bulma, about, I think it's 70%, yeah, 75% width there. That works. I'll check the image. Yeah, the image is loaded fine there, it's not default. And it, as you can see as well, the photo on each page increases like that. And if I do a quick demonstration of other browsers, you can see how on Firefox it also works, links work. See how the navbar functions, the sidebar, recipes, eggs Benedict. Yep. You can see how the fonts are the same on each one. And lastly in Chrome, lastly in Edge, show it again, and up more, recipes, and we'll do walnuts this time. And there we go. Thank you, that was my website.